Hello, friends. I am Rachel Nisaka back with yet another article that I hope you enjoy because really it should apply to you, regardless of whether you read my work about business or just about being a human being. So, this one is titled, When We Want the Perks But Not the Hardships. May the odds be ever in your favor. Last week, I joined a Zoom meeting with three close friends from a few jobs back. We meet every couple of months to bitch about working in HR. And let me tell you, it's an absolute delight every time. We've been doing these Zoom meetings for about 3 years, since 75% of our group was laid off under questionable circumstances. See Dennis. And a lot has changed in the 3 years since we were dramatically pried from each other's cold, dead arms. Okay, fine. Since three of us were laid off. None of us work together anymore. Finally, my coaching and consulting business has picked up to the point where I'm comfortable again. For now. All three of my dear friends, on the other hand, are in senior level HR positions at different companies, working in different functions. And all of us, independently and together, have come to the conclusion that almost all organizations suffer from the same afflictions. They are just at different stages. I see it with my coaching clients, and I see it when I consult with scaling businesses. I look back at the time when I was a full-time employee. I worked for a large global company, an advanced startup with deep pockets, and a well-known publicly traded company who swapped their culture and morality for bad leadership and false promises. All of these companies, and those who I now consult with, sit at some point on the spectrum of development. And all of these positions have trade-offs that most organizations do not take the time to recognize. Bottom line, we all want the fun parts of growth, but many of us aren't willing to trade those for the hardships. And then we wonder why we can't be successful. I'll get back to business. I always do. But for a moment, let me take you on a walk through my family life. Look out for all the Legos on the ground, please. I have three children. They are all boys, and they are basically poster children for birth order. My oldest, at 10, has decided he is a full-fledged adult and should be able to make independent decisions. My youngest, at 5, has realized that he can get away with anything he wants because he is the, quote, cutest in the family. His words, not mine. And my sweet, sweet middle son just demands that we call him baby. So that will be something for his future therapist to unpack. And they fight, and they tell me that their lives are unfair, and they complain that we treat their brothers better. Why, oh, why can't we treat each of them like we treat the others? And finally, over 10 years into this parenting gig, I realized the issue because it's the same issue I consult around at work. They all want to keep the good parts of their birth order, but they don't want the trade-offs. My oldest wants limited supervision and unlimited privileges, but he doesn't want to be held to a higher standard than his brothers in exchange. My youngest wants to get away with murder, but that doesn't mean he is okay missing out on the big kid fun. My middle just wants everyone to stop messing with him and his favorite stuffed animal. And businesses, well, businesses are like my children. They want the excitement of being new and the privilege of being established. And all of my friends who work in the people side of business have complaints. Because in business, and particularly in HR, it feels like you are often either a cog in a wheel or a jack of all trades. You are either following a process that frowns upon independent thought, or you are doing 700 jobs. Where is the in between? Like most of life, we are drawn to extremes. We want it all. Trade-offs be damned. But the actual key to satisfaction is in identifying those trade-offs before you become one. But it has to start at the top. Even my friends brilliant, kind people who hold senior level positions don't have the right type of influence. This is CEO business. This is as important as your strategic goals and hitting your revenue target if you are interested in being a business that evolves. Because being a business that doesn't evolve gets you exactly nowhere. And look, my kids will grow up no matter what. Like I tell my oldest son, when he is 40 and his youngest brother is 35, they won't notice the age difference. Their playing field of life over time is relatively uniform. The variations will come down to how they choose to play the game. I will try to teach my oldest to self-reflect when he takes his perceived freedom too far, instead of claiming we don't love him as much as his brothers. I will try to teach my youngest that he will get to participate in more exciting adventures once he shows us that he's not going to use his cute monkey face to get away with whatever he wants. I will try to teach my middle son to advocate for himself and not be a tattletale. And I will try to teach my clients to proactively think about the trade-offs in how their businesses evolve over time. Nothing is static, and how boring if it was. It's when we lean into the chaos and decide who we are going to be that we break through. Results in life or in business don't come when we decide who we are. They come when we decide which parts of us are constant and which are flexible. When we figure out how to lean into the wind without losing our footing, and then do it again when the wind changes directions. And again, and again, and again. I hope to see you there.